Hey everyone, Angry Poncho here, and it's time for us to continue playing Shadow of the Colossus. And now we have reached the end game. It's time for us to challenge the 16th and final Colossus. So get out our sword here, and it points us directly at a very suspicious looking doorway over there. So without any further ado, let's head on over there and see what there is to see. Can Agro climb on that? Can I? You can do it. You can do it! Go! Oh yeah, we're making this. We're making this. Oh gosh, I'm just glitching Agro through the texture. Force it! Ah, forget it. We'll go around. I don't want to get Agro stuck in a texture and be like, oh, well that sucks. We're gonna need her in a bit. Don't want her to go die or anything. Alright, let's get a move on now. And that's where we're headed. Look at that thing. If you come here earlier in the game, you can't actually get through here. Until you've beaten 15 Colossi, this door will remain closed. However, now that we've done that... Whoa, Agro's getting some air. Nice, look at that. Now that we have beaten the 15 Colossi, we can open up the door in the south. Stand on this platform and shine your light exactly where you think you need to. And thus the path to the final Colossus is open. Alright, get back on Agro and head on in here. Now, this is territory I've only been through once before, and that was on my practice file, and it was very quick go through just to have a run so that I know exactly where I'm going and what's going on and such, but that was a while back, so maybe some screw-ups here, but hey, that makes it more interesting, right? And I see that lizard. Alright, get out of the way, Agro. Gotcha! Alrighty. Nom nom nom. Alright, and I'm going to save on video here, because I highly recommend that you do the exact same thing. And I'm not actually really saving, I'm just overwriting a file I made 10 seconds ago, so don't worry about that. Yeah, so this is the last save shrine, I believe, before the final fight, so you definitely want to hit this one up. And you can look over there on the right, next to the how many are defeated there, on our second to last save slot. 4.5 hours of gameplay so far, so that's fairly quick. I mean, it's not a speed run by any means, but as far as Alpine goes, that's a pretty good time to finish this much of the game. Now, let's just see how long it takes for me to get this last one down before I start talking about how long it took. Alright, running into walls now. Go! Agro's just like, no, I'm running into a texture, I can't move. And surprisingly enough, we can take her up these flights of stairs. So, hell, why not? Turn her around. Come on. She's getting really reluctant now. Gosh, what is she worried about? Now we have this bridge we ride across. Agro will jump for us. And this is actually a cutscene here. Oh man, we're not gonna make it! Oh. She sacrificed herself by bucking us forward like that. But in the process, well, you saw the result. Now the only choice we have is to return to the task at hand, because there's certainly no way of going back now. Alright, so we just, oh man. I couldn't believe it when Venus told me about that. Because I think I knew it was going to happen before I saw it the first time, which, oh man. That's a real boner. It's too bad. It certainly was a useful horse throughout the entire game. I feel like I'm giving a eulogy. Alright, so basically now we're just going to be climbing up to the top of this area that you saw Wander looking up towards before. That's our goal. So, it's basically a very easy platforming little bit here, where we just climb on some walls, jump from one platform to the next, and there's not really much of a challenge to it. After the other things we've done, at least, there certainly isn't. Make sure that you jump there, and don't think that there's like a path and just run right off the edge. Alright, if you have any trouble platforming up that, you need to just like practice it a few times, because if you're having trouble with that, you're not going to have a very good time fighting this Colossus. But most players by now would not have too much trouble at all there. So now we head up these stairs. Who the hell knows where they go? Oh, check this out. We're even higher up than we were before. We're back in the same area. That's where the bridge was down there. We jump onto these things and climb even higher. Going into unfamiliar territory now. And you see, once we get up here, we've entered like a dust cloud of sorts. And there he is. There's our first look at the final Colossus. The skirted sorcerer, which honestly, that's what he is. He's got some seriously epic magic spells. He just basically like fires some epic lasers at you. And he wears like a giant metal stone skirt thing. Doesn't sound intimidating, but once you like get hit by one of his lasers, you'll realize that this guy just owns. Wow, we're getting a nice, good look at him here with this cutscene. Alright, and now we need to get some cover. So I'm just going to stop over here for a second. And I think if we run forward, yeah, there's a pillar here. Now, you'll notice that he's going to start firing those lasers at us pretty quickly early on in the fight. You don't want to be out in the open when one of those lasers comes down. So you want to head over to the right here and drop down into this hole. And you'll take a little bit of a hit there, don't worry about it. And basically, we're going to progress closer and closer to this Colossus by going through these little underground walkways and tunnels and such. And then once we're on the surface, we're going to basically just hide behind one piece of cover and then the next in order to avoid getting totally, like, owned by one of those lasers that he's shooting. Alright, so right after he's fired is a good time to go for it. So make sure you get behind that cover quickly. And you might want to just wait behind each cover for him to fire, and then proceed to the next one. And then just dive into the next hole. And the beginning part isn't that bad. You just sort of keep running, and if you get the timing right, you should be fine. Now, if you do get hit by one of the lasers and get thrown out in the open somewhere, just try to get behind something. Find some cover somewhere. I mean, honestly, the worst case scenario is, he kills you, but I mean, even that would just mean you have to start the fight over. Because at this point, you haven't accomplished much anyway. It's not like you've done any damage to him yet. So, now we just walk all the way around here, climbing on this ledge. And of course, here they go. They got to give you one final platforming test by making you jump from here to there. Which by now shouldn't be an issue. Shit, don't fall, dude. Man, I'll be jinxing myself like that. Get up there. I think down here, he can't really get too good of an angle on us. We stay underneath the cover here. Enter this next little tunnel bit. We're just going all over the place in these tunnels. You can see he still knows where we are even when we're underground, so he's shooting those lasers at the ceiling above us. Not the roof, I guess, since he's outside, I don't know. Thankfully, they don't disrupt very much of our platforming ability. There's a hole there. I'm not sure how you get to that. Maybe there's a faster way to get over here, I'm not sure. Alright, so here we want to stand right here and wait for him to fire another laser. And then we're going to go for that cover that's right in front of us there. This is probably the hardest part right here. Alright, dude, do it. Shoot a laser. Do it. Okay, we're going for it then. Oh, almost got owned, but didn't. Awesome. Alright, after he fires, get out and roll. It's probably the only way to get there fast enough. Now, this next part's the hardest. Sometimes he won't fire. He'll just stand here and he won't want to fire at you. So if you, like, back up, just enough for him to see you, and go forward, he'll be occupied long enough that you can get by. You see there he started, like, going, like, rapid fire on us. He fired much more quickly those last two. But that's all there is to it. That's that last bit that's difficult to do. You have to get him to fire and then run the other way. Alright, so now we are underneath his skirt. You can see it shows us, alright, you're by his feet now, just to give us a clue of what's going on here. Alright. So in the next episode, we're actually going to start climbing this guy. From the inside, and then on the out, and finally up to his head. So I'll see you guys next time on Let's Play Shadow of the Colossus.